Archaeologists have discovered a vast tunnel under an ancient Egyptian temple that may lead to Cleopatra's lost tomb.
From the assassination of her siblings to the love affairs with great kings, Cleopatra had an endless quest to be the greatest ruler in the 1st century BCE. As a powerful queen in a male-dominated world, Cleopatra defied societal norms and asserted her political authority. Although the story of Cleopatra has been passed down from the pages of history to modern-day films, there are some pretty weird and intriguing facts about Cleopatra you didn't know. What were some of this ancient ruler's secrets? Join us as we discuss weird, untold facts about the famous Queen Cleopatra. Number 1. Cleopatra's incestuous marriages. The powerful Ptolemaic dynasty had a dark and notorious practice. They often married their siblings. This strange custom served two purposes: to keep the royal bloodline pure and to consolidate power within the family. One prominent member of this dynasty was Cleopatra, who happened to marry not just one, but two of her brothers. Cleopatra's first husband was Ptolemy XIII, her brother. The marriage occurred when Cleopatra was 18, while her brother was just a young boy of 10. This union, as you can imagine, was far from harmonious. The two siblings engaged in a fierce power struggle that eventually escalated into a full-blown civil war. But Cleopatra was a resourceful and ambitious woman. She sought help from a powerful Roman general named Julius Caesar. With his support, she defeated her brother's forces and emerged victorious. Tragically, Ptolemy XIII met a dreadful end, as he was drowned in the mighty Nile River during the war. After his death, Cleopatra was again forced to fulfill tradition by marrying her second brother, Ptolemy IV. However, their relationship was not destined to last either. There are suspicions that Cleopatra may have ordered his death, possibly through poisoning, but the details remain unclear. But the undisputed fact remains that Cleopatra was a woman who would stop at nothing to secure her position of power. Here's a twist. Despite her incestuous marriages, Cleopatra's most famous love affairs were not with her brothers, but with two powerful Romans, Julius Caesar and Marc Antony. These relationships were not only romantic, but also politically advantageous. They helped Cleopatra solidify her position as the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt. Number 2. Cleopatra's Beauty. You may have seen Queen Cleopatra portrayed in movies and books as an incredibly beautiful queen. However, there is more to Cleopatra than just her looks. In February 2007, a remarkable discovery was made. Archaeologists found a coin with a portrait of Cleopatra herself. Surprisingly, this portrait showed her to be rather ordinary looking. The depictions of Cleopatra's beauty may have been exaggerated over time. Even ancient historians didn't say much about her looks, suggesting that her appearance was not as extraordinary as we might have thought. Recent facts have revealed that Cleopatra's physical beauty did not make her truly captivating. In a book called Life of Antony, written by Plutarch in 75 AD, he clearly stated that her beauty, as we are told, was in itself not altogether incomparable, nor such as to strike those who saw her. But the contact of her presence, if you lived with her, was irresistible. The attraction of her person, joining with the charm of her conversation and the character that attended all she said or did, was something bewitching. It was a pleasure merely to hear the sound of her voice, with which, like an instrument of many strings, she could pass from one language to another. Cleopatra's Perfume. Cleopatra's perfume was renowned for its exquisite fragrance and luxurious ingredients. The enchanting scent that Cleopatra loved was a blend of precious oils, flowers, and spices carefully crafted to create a captivating aroma. Cleopatra's perfume was said to have contained ingredients such as rose, jasmine, myrrh, cinnamon, and frankincense, among others. The alluring fragrance of Cleopatra's perfume was believed to enhance her allure and leave a lasting impression on those around her. Cleopatra's perfume was likely made in Egypt, specifically in Alexandria. Alexandria was known for its thriving perfume industry and was home to skilled perfumers who created exquisite scents. The process of making Cleopatra's perfume involved a combination of natural ingredients and meticulous craftsmanship. Highly skilled perfumers known as unguentarii created her signature scent. They would extract essential oils from various aromatic substances, such as flowers, herbs, spices, and resins. Once the essential oils were obtained, they were carefully blended to create a unique and customized perfume for Cleopatra. The proportions and combinations of different ingredients were skillfully adjusted to achieve the desired fragrance profile. The final perfume was typically stored in ornate containers, such as alabaster or glass bottles, sealed to preserve the scent. Number 3. Cleopatra's Education. Cleopatra was not just a queen, but a highly educated individual. She had a thirst for knowledge and excelled in various fields. She was a student of mathematics, medicine, alchemy, economics, history, geography, and many other subjects that you gladly skip in college. And as if such wealth of knowledge wasn't enough, she was fluent in 9 different languages. Can you imagine that? So the next time you think of Cleopatra, don't just think of a beautiful queen. Think of a remarkable woman who defied expectations, conquered hearts and minds, and left a lasting legacy. Cleopatra's tomb may still be waiting to be discovered, but her story inspires and captivates us. Number 4. Cleopatra's Ancestry. Cleopatra's ancestry was indeed unusual and interesting. She belonged to the Ptolemaic dynasty, which was of Macedonian Greek origin and ruled Egypt after the death of Alexander the Great. The Ptolemaic rulers often practiced intermarriage among siblings to maintain the purity of their Greek lineage, a common custom among the ancient Egyptian pharaohs. Cleopatra herself was the daughter of Ptolemy XIV, the pharaoh of Egypt. She was born into a world of political intrigue and power struggles. Cleopatra's family line can be traced back to Ptolemy I, one of Alexander the Great's generals, who became the ruler of Egypt in 305 BC. What made Cleopatra's ancestry particularly unusual was the blending of different cultures and influences. While her family was of Greek origin, they ruled over an ancient Egyptian civilization with rich traditions and customs. Cleopatra was known for her intelligence, charisma, and ability to speak multiple languages, including Egyptian, Greek, and Latin. Cleopatra's ancestry was a unique mix of Greek and Egyptian heritage. This, alongside her position as the last active pharaoh of Egypt, has made her a fascinating historical figure. Number 5. Her clever political strategies. Cleopatra's sharp political mind allowed her to navigate the dangerous world of Egyptian politics and hold on to her position as pharaoh. She knew forging alliances with powerful Roman leaders would be essential to her success. So she embarked on a daring plan to win their support. Her connection with Julius Caesar began when she ingeniously smuggled herself into his presence, hidden inside a carpet. Cleopatra realized the advantages of having Caesar on her side, so she used charm and seduction to captivate him. Their relationship blossomed into a passionate love affair, and Caesar offered his military assistance to Cleopatra in her conflict with Ptolemy, her rival. With Caesar's help, Cleopatra emerged victorious and solidified her power in Egypt. However, tragedy struck when Caesar was assassinated. Although in grief, Cleopatra was not deterred as she immediately shifted her focus to another powerful Roman leader, Marc Antony. Their alliance proved to be mutually beneficial. Cleopatra provided Antony with financial and military support, while Antony aided Cleopatra in suppressing her remaining rivals. Cleopatra's ability to form strategic alliances with influential leaders, her diplomatic skills, and her deep understanding of Egyptian and Roman politics were instrumental in her rise to power and her ability to hold on to it. Her clever political strategies earned her a place in history. Number 6. The goddess Isis and Cleopatra Isis, an ancient Egyptian deity associated with fertility, motherhood, and magic, was highly respected and worshipped throughout Egypt and beyond. Cleopatra actively aligned herself with the goddess to strengthen her rule and win the support of her Egyptian subjects. To solidify her connection with Isis, Cleopatra took extraordinary measures. She would dress as Isis during public ceremonies and religious rituals, going to great lengths to establish this association. By doing so, she aimed to elevate her status as a divine ruler and create a sense of unity among her diverse subjects. Through Cleopatra's reign, she skillfully utilized the symbolism of the goddess to assert her authority and validate her position as the rightful ruler. This connection with Isis allowed her to tap into the existing religious following of the goddess, but also reinforced her image as a compassionate and nurturing leader. But Cleopatra's connection with Isis went beyond mere symbolism. She genuinely believed in the power and influence of the goddess. Number 7. Cleopatra's unique beauty regimen. Cleopatra had a beauty regimen that was truly extraordinary. Cleopatra's methods for preserving her appearance were luxurious and ahead of her time. She sought innovative ways to maintain her beauty, and some famous treatments were simply fascinating. One of the most intriguing aspects of Cleopatra's beauty routine was her fondness for bathing in donkey milk. This might sound odd, but it was believed to have incredible properties for softening the skin and slowing down the aging process in her time. Cleopatra was so devoted to this practice that she required 700 lactating donkeys to supply enough milk for her daily baths. Imagine that. In addition to her donkey milk baths, Cleopatra also utilized various natural ingredients and remedies to enhance her beauty. She had a secret recipe for her lips that involved crushing ants and combining them with carmine and beeswax. The result was a bold red color that made her lips stand out in the crowd. Here's the interesting part. Cleopatra concocted a special face mask using burnt almonds, honey, and fresh donkey milk. This magical mixture was believed to have brightening and rejuvenating effects on her complexion. Cleopatra's beauty regimen was not just about looking good. It was about feeling confident and revitalized. What made Cleopatra's beauty routine truly remarkable was how it reflected her resourcefulness and her desire to be unique among her peers. Just as she employed innovative political strategies, she sought extraordinary methods to maintain her appearance. Cleopatra's legendary beauty practices continue to captivate and inspire people even today. Number 8. The Golden Ship and Banquet. In the ancient times of Cleopatra, there was a tale of a magnificent display of wealth and power that would forever be remembered. Cleopatra was renowned for her grandeur. Among her most famous treasures were the Golden Ship and Banquet. It all began when Marc Antony, a powerful Roman leader, summoned Cleopatra to Tarsus. He wanted her to prove her loyalty to Rome. Cleopatra, being the wise and ambitious ruler she was, saw this as an opportunity to make a grand entrance that would leave an indelible mark. With her mind set on making a lasting impression, Cleopatra embarked on a voyage to Tarsus in a breathtaking ship. The vessel was adorned with gold, silver, and vibrant purple sails. As the ship sailed through the waters, rowers played enchanting music on their silver oars, creating an enchanting atmosphere. With this grand entrance, the Golden Ship finally reached its destination. The Queen hosted a sumptuous banquet to further showcase her luxury and influence. Every detail of the event was meticulously planned to showcase her extravagant lifestyle. The banquet was a feast for the senses, featuring abundant exotic foods, fine wines, and captivating entertainment. Cleopatra spared no expense in ensuring that the lavish display enthralled her guests. It displayed her wealth, power, and most importantly, her independence as the ruler of Egypt. Number 9. Cleopatra's economic strategy. With her vast knowledge, Cleopatra possessed a strategic mindset and a keen understanding of the economic forces that shaped her world. Cleopatra knew that a strong economy was essential to maintaining her power and the loyalty of her subjects. Cleopatra implemented a highly efficient and comprehensive taxation system known as the Ptolemaic tax system to ensure her kingdom's prosperity. This system played a crucial role in the economic success of Cleopatra's Egypt. It ensured a steady flow of revenue that supported the monarchy and funded various public works projects. Cleopatra was particularly skilled at managing the finances of her kingdom. She exploited Egypt's rich resources, such as agriculture, trade, gold, silver, and precious stones, to generate significant income. Cleopatra understood that this revenue could be used to further her political aims. She wisely invested in infrastructure projects, supporting the construction of roads, bridges, and other vital structures. By doing so, she created an atmosphere of stability and prosperity throughout her reign. The people of Egypt benefited from these improvements, and their loyalty to Cleopatra grew stronger. Not only did Cleopatra focus on infrastructure, but she also recognized the importance of supporting the arts and sponsoring religious institutions. By doing this, she fostered a sense of cultural richness and national identity among her subjects. Number 10. Cleopatra's illegitimate children. The tale of Cleopatra is entangled in a web of political alliances and ambitions. While her marriages to her brothers were mere pawns in the game of power, it was her relationships with Julius Caesar and Marc Antony that ignited the birth of her illegitimate children, forever altering the course of history. Caesarion, Cleopatra's firstborn, was birthed from her passionate affair with Julius Caesar. But following the tragic assassination of Caesar, Cleopatra proclaimed her son as the rightful heir to the Egyptian throne, a shining son to carry on his father's legacy. She declared him her co-ruler, tirelessly working to secure his succession alongside Marc Antony. But the story of Cleopatra's motherhood did not end there. She had 3 more children from her union with Marc Antony: Alexander Helios, Cleopatra Selene II, and Ptolemy Philadelphus. These innocent souls became pawns in the dangerous power struggle between Cleopatra and Rome. As the tides of fate turned against her, Antony's defeat marked the beginning of the end. In a cruel twist of destiny, Octavian, the victor in this treacherous game, orchestrated the execution of young Caesarion. The 3 remaining children, Alexander, Cleopatra Selene II, and Ptolemy, were captured and transported to Rome, placed under the care of Octavian's sister. Number 11. Connection to the Ptolemaic dynasty. It will shock you that Cleopatra came from a very special bloodline, the Ptolemaic dynasty. This dynasty had a fascinating link to the famous Greek hero Perseus. You may have heard of Perseus before. According to the myths, Perseus was the son of Zeus, the king of the gods, and Danae, a mortal woman. Perseus was known for his incredible adventures, like defeating the terrifying monster Medusa. The Ptolemaic dynasty was founded by a man named Ptolemy, the first Soter. He was a general who served under Alexander the Great. Ptolemy I and other dynasty members claimed to be descendants of Perseus through his son, Perseus. By making this claim, they wanted to show they were connected to a legendary hero. This connection was important because it made their rule seem more legitimate and gave them a divine status. Cleopatra, a member of the Ptolemaic dynasty, shared this special connection to Perseus. She saw the value in linking herself to this mythical hero, and by doing so, she hoped to establish her divine authority and strengthen her position as the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt. Cleopatra was a smart and cunning leader who understood the power of myth and legend. She used it to her advantage, securing her power and influence over her people. Number 12. Cleopatra's death. In ancient history, Cleopatra's death has always been a topic of fascination and debate. The popular belief is that she met her end by the deadly bite of a venomous snake. This dramatic story has captured people's imaginations for centuries. However, other theories suggest a more intricate and mysterious end to the life of this enigmatic queen. The circumstances leading up to Cleopatra's death add to the intrigue. After the death of her lover, Julius Caesar, Cleopatra found herself entangled in a web of political turmoil. She partnered with Marc Antony, a powerful Roman general, to secure her kingdom's safety. However, their alliance eventually crumbled under external pressures and internal strife. Cleopatra died shortly after Antony took his own life. The most well-known theory is that Cleopatra died from a venomous snake bite, namely an asp. According to this account, Cleopatra allowed the snake to bite her, leading to her demise. This version of events has been popularized by ancient texts and Shakespeare's play, Antony and Cleopatra. Another theory suggests that Cleopatra used poison to end her life. It is believed that she may have ingested a toxic substance, such as a concoction of various herbs and substances. This theory aligns with the idea that Cleopatra chose her fate rather than succumbing to her enemies. There is also an opposing theory that Cleopatra was murdered rather than dying by her hand. Some argue that she was assassinated on the orders of her captor, Octavian, who wanted to eliminate any potential threat to his rule. This theory suggests that Cleopatra's death was not a result of her own choices, but a plot against her. The truth about how Cleopatra died may forever remain shrouded in uncertainty. We may never have concrete evidence to support any specific theory, but regardless of the details surrounding her death, one thing is certain: Cleopatra's legacy as a powerful and influential ruler is undisputed. Number 13. The Lost Tomb of Cleopatra. The Lost Tomb of Cleopatra mystery has puzzled people for ages. Even though Cleopatra is one of the most famous figures in history, nobody knows where she was buried. This search for her tomb has fascinated historians and archaeologists for centuries, and it's still an unsolved puzzle. According to the ancient Roman historian Plutarch, Cleopatra and Marc Antony were buried in a magnificent golden tomb dedicated to Osiris, but nobody knows exactly where this tomb is. Despite various theories, no concrete evidence has confirmed its existence. One theory suggests that Cleopatra's tomb might be near her palace in Alexandria, the capital of ancient Egypt. Underwater ruins discovered off the coast of the modern city could be remnants of her palace complex. However, no direct evidence of the tomb has been found there. Another theory proposes that Cleopatra's tomb could be located at a temple site called Taposiris Magna, about 45 kilometers west of Alexandria. Archaeologist Kathleen Martinez has excavated the site for over 10 years and found intriguing artifacts. However, the actual tomb remains elusive. Number 14. Cleopatra's cultural legacy. Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt, has left a powerful and timeless cultural legacy that stretches across borders and generations. Her life and reign have been the subject of countless artistic works, literature, and films, ensuring that her story lives on as a symbol of power, beauty, and intrigue. In literature, Cleopatra has been immortalized by renowned writers. William Shakespeare's play Antony and Cleopatra, 1607, presents her as a complex and passionate figure, influencing how she is portrayed in later works. Other notable literary works featuring Cleopatra include George Bernard Shaw's play Caesar and Cleopatra, 1898, and Théophile Gautier's collection of short stories, One of Cleopatra's Nights, 1838. In the world of film, Cleopatra's life has been brought to the screen on multiple occasions, including the recent Netflix documentary Queen Cleopatra, directed by Tina Gauravi. However, the 1963 epic film Cleopatra, starring Elizabeth Taylor, remains the most iconic portrayal of the Egyptian queen. Its extravagant sets and costumes solidified Cleopatra's image as a figure of luxury and glamour. Cleopatra's influence extends to the visual arts, inspiring countless painters and sculptors throughout history. From ancient Roman frescoes to Baroque masterpieces by artists like Artemisia Gentileschi and Guido Reni, depictions of Cleopatra emphasize her beauty and allure. What new facts did you learn about the legendary Cleopatra? Let us know in the comment box. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.